Hi, we are excited that you're signed up for the upcoming Navigating Dementia series we're going to be doing. And as we look at ways to improve you and your loved ones' days along the progression, there are a few bits of information that we think will be really valuable and that we will be referencing as we go through the series. This video is just a chance for you to familiarize yourself with what are possibly a few new ideas to you. Some of these may be familiar to some of you. And then also send in questions if you have any ahead of time, and there will be some links to a couple videos to go deeper if you're interested. First thing I want to address is that this is hard. Watching a loved one change, becoming less self-reliant, becoming somebody who needs more support than you ever saw them need before, can be very difficult, and it's not an expected thing or anything we have training for in our lives. With a child, we kind of expect some odd behaviors, some learning curves, all of that. They may do some irrational, some bizarre, some unsafe, even rude or gross things, and that we expect. However, from our spouse, our parent, we don't typically expect these things from a grown adult. However, with the brain changes that occur with dementia, they happen. The brain is kind of aging backwards, if you've ever heard that before. So what I want you to know, this first thing, is that they're not doing it on purpose. The brain is structurally, chemically changing, and they're doing the best they can with the access they have. So we're going to talk a little bit about what is being lost and what they're retaining and how we can really work with that. So first of all, on the left side of the brain is where language, short-term memory, which is what a lot of people talk about, executive functioning and sequencing, the ability to know step by step what needs to happen, that's all here on the left side of our brain. And that's one of the first regions where we have a lot of loss. So people with dementia have a harder time producing language and understanding language, and nouns are one of the first things to go. So with that, the gentleman that I think of telling a story, he had a loaf of bread on the counter, peanut butter, jam, and a knife. And he just kept looking at it. And when I finally asked him, he's like, I'm going to make a sandwich. His brain knew a lot of the components, but it didn't know that the first step was to take the bread out of the bag. He wanted to make a sandwich. There's a lot of things he can do for himself, but that sequential thinking was starting to fail in his brain. Okay, so that's the left side. The right side is where we've got music. If you've heard that music is really strong for people with dementia, this is part of why. Rhythm, emotional memory is all on that side. It's another reason why one of the things I'll be coaching and talking about is our mood coming to our loved one with dementia. We need to be very aware of it, because that logic may not be there, but the read of our emotions is. They're going to know that I'm frustrated and agitated, whether I say, hi, I love you, or not. So we can really work with that and utilize that right side of the brain. The third part of the brain we need to be aware of is the amygdala. That is the fight or flight portion of the brain, the part that tries to keep us safe. Its job is to keep us safe. It's not to be rational, it's not to think things through, it's to guard us, okay? If you've ever been caught off guard from something and you just tense up, that's your amygdala doing its thing, okay? In dementia, early stage to mid stage especially, we have people who know that things aren't quite right. They can sense that things aren't working for them normally. They know they're missing a beat here and there. And so their amygdala is on hyperdrive to try and keep them safe. Safe from injury, safe from embarrassment, safe from judgment. Those come on a lot early on. People want to feel independent, and then they get the sense that people are questioning them. So safe from either perceived or real danger or harm. That amygdala, when they actually do brain scans, they can see that it is more active than in a normal brain because it is trying desperately to keep that person with dementia safe. So our job as a well spouse, and part of what we'll talk about through this series, is how to be aware of the losses on the left side, some things that just seem irritating or frustrating, once we have some understanding of why those may be occurring, of how we can connect with this rhythmic, emotional, wonderful right side of the brain that stays pretty strong, and how to keep them in a calmer place with their amygdala. Those are going to be really key to the things we discuss over these next 3 weeks. So we're very excited to have you joining us. It's going to be a terrific series. There's going to be a chance you can respond to this and send in questions if you have any questions. I may answer them directly preceding the series, or we may just incorporate them in the series as the questions come. Also, we'll add a couple more video links if you want to go into these details in more depth. So thank you so much, and we're looking forward to meeting you all in a couple weeks.